Hello everybody and welcome back at Adobe Live. I am your host Kladi and I'm here with you today for a brand new creative challenge. So today we're going to be working with Illustrator. As I said, it is an Illustrator challenge, and in particular, let me jump right away into my screen. We will be working with creating something that will help your business stand out. In fact, we're going to be creating a professional Instagram business card that you will be able to have saved in your stories, in your profile, and that will definitely help you out when presenting yourself. Before we get started, I want to say hi to everybody that is here in chat. I can see Annika, Wade, lovely to see you. Biola, Afroya, thank you so much for joining us here. Karul, lovely to see you. If you are watching from YouTube, although, this is the time to jump into behance.net/live. That is the place in which we hang out together with the wonderful community here. Perfect. So as you can see behind me, you can find an Instagram, actually no, it's not Instagram, it's the Instagram business card challenge title, but that's an Illustrator file document that I've provided for you. So you will be able to click on the link in the description below, and you will be able to actually join me during the challenge. That is completely up to you though. You can either simply join, watch and relax, maybe join the chat, ask your question. As I say all the time, this is a safe space to learn together, or you can click on the link and follow along by working together on the same file as me. Now, before we get started, you can see that anytime that I share a file with you, there are always multiple layers that allow you to work and manage your content a little bit better. So we do have here, for example, 3 different layers. One that will contain our final, one that is our work in progress, and one is our instruction. If you go ahead and click on the little eye icon located next to the layer, you will see that you will be able to toggle the visibility of the elements that are contained inside the layer. Now, the reason why we have a little lock next to the instruction is because I want to make sure that these elements don't get moved. If you just wish to delete them, you can go ahead and unlock it, then you can select it or delete them, or you can delete the layer altogether by selecting it and clicking on the bin icon if that's what you want to do. If you do that by mistake, or if you just want to experiment and try to delete a layer, you can do so, and then press Command Z on a Mac. That will be Control Z on a Windows in order to come back and bring it back. So let's make sure also always to press Command S or Control S to save your document as you go. But it's now time to get started in order to create our IG business card. So Instagram business card is very important to promote your channels, because you will be able, just by having an Instagram stories that is always there and you can reshare. I usually keep it in my very first highlights, but you can then share it as many times as you want. It will allow you to have all your different tags. So if you have different tags for Twitter or YouTube or Facebook, all the different handle, TikTok, you can have them highlighted in, as I said, an Instagram story that can become your highlight that you can post over and over again, or you can simply share with people. So every time that you want to tell people to follow you all over your channels, just simply post this specific card. Okay, so let's get started. The reason why here I have a rectangle and a little circle is because the first thing that we're going to do here is to use the circle in order to work. And as you can see here, I'm working inside my work in progress channel, which is also my work in progress artboard. And by the way, the artboard that you see here on the side is the final artboard. And also, if we press the shortcut Shift O, that will allow us to jump into the artboard tool. You can select it and then head to the properties panel, or simply press the enter return key with your artboard selected, and you will see right away that we have a 9:16 ratio here, and that is the 1080 by 1920 pixels, which is the resolution, the size of an Instagram story. So that's why this is where the final is going to be. Perfect. But as I say, the first thing is to create a circle. If you want to create a circle by yourself, just press the letter L in order to create an ellipse, and then click and drag while holding the Shift key, and you will be able to generate a circle of any size you want yourself. So the first thing that I'm going to use here for this circle is in order to mask my image. And then I'm going to go ahead also, and from here create a copy, because I'm going to use that for creating that specific ring that we have inside Instagram. And in fact, before we get started, let me jump real quick into my Instagram, and I'm just going to be back here just a second while I log in into my Instagram so we can start to look at some details of stories and how we can create our highlight. Let me head back here so we can all see the same screen. Here we go. Sorry, I just needed to log in real quick. Perfect. So the reason why we also need to have the little ring around our story is to just trigger more attention, because people get always excited. We can have here, we can see the Adobe Design account and other many talented creative. We have Kathleen, Yeshi, and our Delta Tango Mike, my best friend Andrea, which is a DJ. So everybody is active telling stories, and we know that because we do have this little circle, this ring, which is around our little icon. So I'm just going to go ahead and take a screenshot of this so we can all have a look. And I'm just going to take a screenshot of everybody here that is on my feed, so we can use that as a reference when we create our own card. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out, and then I'm just going to head back into my little artboard here. Then all I'm left to do, and by the way, if you see me moving around just like that, I have active corners. All you can do is simply to minimize your app if you just want to jump into your desktop. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and select my image, which is the same image that I have in my Instagram. And as you will be able to see, once you click and drag any photo inside your Illustrator document, it will be placed automatically at its original size. You will be able also to resize it in order to fit it inside the image, inside the Instagram story. Otherwise, you see this is definitely too big for my avatar. I'm going to go ahead and hold the shift key and then simply drag inward, in this case to make it smaller, to resize it proportionally. And once you're done, all you're left to do is to place your circle over your image. So in this case, because the image has been added afterwards, is going to be located under my image. To bring it up real quick, use the shortcut Command Shift right bracket, and just by doing so, all you have to do is to overlap the little circle in top of the image that you would like to use. I'm just going to go ahead and jump in the chat to see if there is any question. Looks like everybody's saying hello. Lovely to see you, everybody. Tarcisio, thank you for joining us. Wade, thank you so much for sharing my Instagram. Odari, thank you so much. Let me know, as usual, where are you watching from? I am in Manchester, UK, although as you probably, if you heard of me or know me before, I am an Italian designer, although now I do live in the UK for now. I don't know where I'm going to go next. Now, let's go back into our image. As you can see, as I said, I have the image and then I have the circle on top. You can either move your fill color to the stroke by clicking into the swap fill and stroke little icon at the bottom of the toolbar. You will see it just over there, and you will see that the color switches, in this case the black, in between the stroke and the fill. You will be able also to do that without clicking. So if I move my cursor away, I can do that with a shortcut, which is the Shift X. So with Shift X, you change the color, the hue that is in the fill, between the fill and the stroke. So you're literally swapping the color between the fill and the stroke. If you just want to select either the fill or the stroke, in that case is the letter X, but to swap the actual color, you will have to also use Shift. So Shift X to swap between the stroke and the fill. Now, it doesn't matter which color do you have. You can use the stroke just to have a better idea of how you're going to cut out the image. But if you just want to work faster, you can do that just in a second instance, because even if we create a mask, and we can do that by clicking and dragging over the image and the circle, and then we're going to go ahead and use the shortcut Command 7, you will always be able to access the content of your mask by double clicking on it. And then, as you can see, now that I've entered isolation mode, I can move my image around, and I can also use a shift and then drag inward to make it smaller and reposition it just like so. In order to exit, just simply double click inside your artboard or pasteboard. Fantastic. So we already created our little image here, and what we're left to do is to start to also create our border outside. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is to also bring in the other image, which is the screenshot, so we can start to have a look at how they actually are made. So it looks like there is a first a little white stroke, and then there is our rainbow stroke. Now the problem is that in order to create this rainbow effect, we can use our gradients, and in particular our freeform gradients. If you never used freeform gradients before, we're gonna have a quick pass today, but there is a full dedicated challenge based on Illustrator Foundation. So today we're talking about Illustrator and marketing, but if you want to look at Illustrator Foundation and if you want to explore gradient, just type on Google or on Behance the Illustrator challenge on Illustrator Foundation, and it's called gradients. So there you will be able to learn more about how to create gradients. But in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and use first this image to create the first stroke. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and add the first stroke. I'm going to click on the word stroke to make sure that we also align the stroke to the outside. And in this case, we will be able to preserve the image. Although then, oops, let's see what happened here. It looked like we selected the actual photo. So I'm just going to press Command Z in order to undo. I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little bit smaller. Also, as I said, you want to make sure that this is white, because we've seen simply from the Instagram, from the little Instagram example that we have here, that there is first a white stroke, and you can see I'm going to move that here outside so you can see now that there is a white stroke, and then the rainbow comes outside. Now here, what I'm going to do is to create a larger stroke. So I'm going to go ahead and select both my masked circle and then this other second circle, and then use the align option located inside the properties panel to align it to the center horizontally and vertically, just like so. And then I'm going to go ahead and hold Shift and select on my photo to make sure to deselect it. And by selecting the stroke, I'm going to go ahead and create a stroke. Again, I'm going to make sure that the stroke color is set to black so we can actually see it. And I want to make sure that I'm now creating a stroke to this particular shape, which is the shape that is at the bottom that we're going to use again to create our rainbow effect. Again, select stroke and then select align stroke to outside to make sure that the stroke is actually to the outside of the path. Again, select both shapes and then align vertically and horizontally. Here we go. Now it looks like the black is perhaps a little bit too big, so we can just simply go ahead and make the stroke a little bit smaller. I think something like 27, it's fine. And also I'm just going to move my photo away for a second. I'm just going to leave it there. I want to show you how I'm going to convert this particular stroke into a path that we can fill in with the rainbow. So what I'm going to do here is to head to the object menu, then select path, and then select outline stroke. By doing so, we will be able to transform our stroke into a path. So if you see now, if we actually add a color fill, we will be changing the color inside our little new shape. And in order to apply a gradient, press the letter G and then select any gradient you want. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and select a freeform gradient. And I do not remember what is the actual distributions of the colors here, but we can very quickly just go ahead and check them out from our example. It looks like this color over here is a purple color, and then we have red. So as you can see, I am adding color point. Again, if you wish to learn more about gradient, all you have to do is to have a look at our gradient a little challenge that we've done, I think, a few days ago, but you can find it. It's still available in the replay just below me, or you can also find it on YouTube if you want. So go ahead and choose the perfect color for you. You can also, beside the swatches, adjust your color so you can mimic as much as possible the look of the original Instagram one. And then once we are done, you can click and select and delete the image there. So now once I'm going to go ahead and create and align these two images, it looks like I have a story live. So we literally recreated in what? Less than 10 minutes, our Instagram avatar. Click and drag to select both circles and use the shortcut Command G. That will be Control G on a Windows to group them. And then I'm going to go ahead and start to move into my final. So perhaps here I'm going to go ahead into my layer, select final layer and press Control V or Command V on a Mac in order to copy. And I'm going to go ahead and select and add these into my very final artboard. Then all I'm left to do here is to start to add some text. So I can go back into my work in progress and press the letter T to activate the type tool and click and drag in order to create a text area. Here, all you're left to do is to write the different channels. So in this case, first of all, I'm probably going to go ahead into my properties panel and make sure that we create a text that is a little bit bigger. Otherwise, we can't see much. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and use a specific text, which is called Social Gothic. Here we go, Social Gothic, and we're going to give it to start a size of 25. Probably going to work with something much bigger. Yeah, let's start with 55 so we can see very clearly what we're doing here. Perfect. So all I'm left to do here is to simply write the different channels. So we have Twitter, we have YouTube or Facebook. Oops. Or maybe TikTok or Pinterest, whatever you want. But all you have to do, oh, you can clearly say that I'm dyslexic today. So Facebook and maybe, as I said, TikTok or whatever the channel. Now, the point is that under these specific channel names, all you're left to do is to add your very own name. So in this case, I'm just going to go ahead and perhaps use a different font like Work Sans. Now, the reason why I use this different font is just to create a little bit of difference in between the title and the actual name. And then all you have to do is to write your @ So mine is an I am Kladi. For Twitter, I don't remember. My YouTube, I believe, is also something like I am Kladi. But for my Facebook, for sure, I'm using my company one. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste my reference text here. And in this case, I'm going to use my business, Printmysoul, for my Facebook. I believe YouTube is also I am Kladi. I don't remember. I'm just going to use I am Kladi here just for the purpose of this example. Then all we're left to do here is to select the text by selecting one of the text and pressing clicking inside the text area and pressing the Command A on a Mac. That will be Control A on a Windows in order to highlight it all. And then from the paragraph style, we can go ahead and select Align Center. So from here, we can now create a copy, press Command C, move into our final layer, and here we can paste a copy of our text, which will be then under our little image there. And we're pretty much done. All we're left to do is to add a different background with whatever elements you want. I can see also that we have a Wade that has pasted the YouTube replay for gradients. So Wade, thank you so much for doing that. If you want to learn more about gradient, I know I went very, very fast on gradient today. Also, I went very, very fast on text. We only have about 3 minutes left for this challenge. So I'm just going to go and dive into creating a background. But also want to remind you that if you want to learn more about text, there is another show coming up today with me on Adobe Live called How To. So we're going to be definitely diving in more into more Illustrator features. So make sure to stay tuned in about 2 hours to learn more about Illustrator. Fantastic. So all we're left to do now is to press the letter M and then click and drag in order to create a rectangle. And let me show you a little trick. Because we want to place our background underneath, I'm going to go ahead into my toolbar here and select our drawing modes and select Draw Behind. Look how cool it is this. It's just here above me. So select the little circle and square shape and select Draw Behind. Once you have the Draw Behind mode active, look what happens. If I go ahead and click and drag to create my background, it will be automatically behind. Now I'm going to go ahead and change its color because our text is black. You don't really have the chance to see it. And all I left to do here is to decorate as much as you want your background. If you want to create again here another gradient, you can do so by selecting and pressing the letter G. From the properties panel, you can select the little gradient options, and like we did before, you can double click in order to add different gradients with different colors. As you can see here, you can really personalize and select any colors you want by clicking inside the gradient and adding our points here. Now, the beauty of that is that once you've created your little card, not only you can save it and share it on your Instagram, but then you will be able to share it over and over again. Now, the reason why I'm stopping here, of course, you can change the color of the text by selecting it, and you can go ahead and select any text you want. You can also double click here on the size of the text area to transform it into a type point area, and then click and drag while holding the shift key to resize it. So if you want, you can make this text even bigger, and then you can also center it using the align options. You can go ahead and refine and add as many details that you want, but I really want to show you today how to export, because before adding this particular element inside your Instagram, you will have to export it. So in order to export any element for screen, we have a super useful shortcut, which is our Option Command E, otherwise Alt Control E if you're working on a Windows machine, which will bring up the export for screen pop-up window. Let me zoom in this one here. All you'll have to do here is to select the artboard, which is my final artboard, and I'm going to go ahead and deselect my work in progress because I do not need to export that. You can also, rename your artboard from here. So I'm going to call this EG business card. And then from here, all I'll have to do is to select a folder inside my machine where I can actually find a specific folder. In this case, I'm just going to put it into my desktop to work a little bit faster. Select the folder that you want to choose and then click on choose. And then you can decide to create a subfolders if you have multiple images. Maybe if you have different options that you want to experiment with, feel free to do so. In this case, we are happy with a JPEG format because we do not have any transparent background. So JPEG will work absolutely fine. And all you'll have to do is to select Export Artboard. Once you do so, you will be able to have your card automatically available for you. So all you'll have to do is to now share it to your phone. You can airdrop it, you can email it to yourself. You can find many different ways to get it into your phone, and from there you will be able to share it with the world. Now, last but not least, once you export your file, something very cool that you can do is to join our Discord community. So in our Discord community over here, if you head to your Adobe Illustrator challenge, and in particular, we have a channel called Challenge, where you can place all the different output of your work. As you can see here, we have different challenges that we've been working on. We worked with mood boards. We worked how to create grids. We have 3D text effect, we have thank you cards, we had yesterday a 3D wrap text, so there is so much that you can see from the community, but most importantly, you can share your own, and you can do so by clicking on the plus icon located here at the bottom of the chat, just right here below me at the bottom of the channel. And once you click on the plus icon, then you can upload a file by clicking on upload file, select your file, click on open, and you can also attach a message to it. So this will be my Instagram card challenge. And if you want, you can also tag and ask questions in order to receive feedback from the Adobe community. Our mentor, we have Colby, Andrew, Jack, Katarina, Ryan, and Kladi, of course, I'm also there. But most importantly, all the wonderful moderator and you guys, nearly 2,000 people live right now on Discord. So the wonderful international community made by students, professionals from all over the world. Fantastic. So I hope that this was helpful. Tag me on Instagram. As you've seen, my Instagram is I am Kladi. I look forward to see your work and your business card, so I will be able to see all your different channels and the work that you do. As I said, stay tuned. There is so much more fun coming up here at Adobe Live today. Just go ahead and get a glass of water and come back. There is more fun right at the end of this stream. And also I will be able to see you. So we have a XD right now coming out with our Pinsky and product catalog as well. So we have first the product catalog, and then we have our Pinsky with a new challenge. And then I will be back with a brand new episode of how to working with Illustrator and Photoshop together. But that's it, folks, for today. I will see you very, very soon, actually in 2 hours. I hope you have a good rest of the day at Adobe Live. Bye.